Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Tonight is 1st of Rabiul Awwal 1441. We're continuing and inshallah concluding the story of Yusuf alayhi salam and the final subtitle of his story from the book Stories of the Prophets alayhi salam is The Dream Comes True. In Surah Yusuf verse 94 to 98, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ala man tabi'a hudahum ila yawmiddin. Amma ba'd. This class and the following class will be the last class of regarding Yusuf alayhi salam. This is tonight to conclude the talk and some of the benefits, and as well we're going to go to more benefits in the following week, inshallah. And as I said last time, that there is a book by Sheikh Salim al-Hilali and Sheikh Muhammad Musa Nasr. It's called إتحاف الإلف بذكر الفوائد الألف والنيف من سورة يوسف عليه السلام. That's the book. So that's the book. That's the one, which is PDF file on my phone, and it's got more than 1,000 benefit out of the story of Yusuf alayhi salam. I'm not going to go on those 1,000 plus benefits, because most of them we talked about. Just a recap before we link to the story, because what happened is that Yusuf alayhi salam had introduced himself to his brothers, that is Yusuf, and they said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had give you preference over us. And also they've asked for forgiveness from Yusuf alayhi salam. So he said, لا تثريب عليكم اليوم يغفر الله لكم. There is no blame upon you. And this is what we call العفو عند المقدرة, meaning to pardon the person when you are capable of punishing him. Yusuf alayhi salam is capable of punishing them for what they've done. Number one, they have plotted against him. Number two, they have also almost killed him. Number three, they have also lied when they said that if he's to steal his brother, then Yusuf before him was a thief as well. So all of that, the plot and also the false testimony regarding him, it's actually deserved more than punishment, but he did not punish them. So we say al-afwu 'inda al-maqdirah, that is to pardon the person when you are capable of punishing him. There's no point of punishing, pardoning somebody when you are not capable of punishing him. What's the point? I forgive you, but because he's scared to punish you. But he was in a position that he would be able to punish them. And we have the story of Abu Sufyan ibn al-Harith, just to link it to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he pardoned. Abu Sufyan is the cousin of the Prophet. He's the son of al-Harith. Al-Harith is to be the brother of the father of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Not only that, Abu Sufyan ibn al-Harith, he was the foster brother of the Prophet ﷺ. Both of them, they had milk from Halima as-Sa'diyah. And what happened is that his cousin, he was a poet and well-known poet, and his poetry is very eloquent. And he had been criticizing the Prophet of Allah ﷺ in his poetry so much, up to the year 8 after Hijrah, which is the year of the repossession of Mecca, Fath Mecca. That's when he embraced Islam. So he had said so many poetry against the Prophet, against Islam, against the Muslims. And even the Prophet asked Hassan ibn Thabit, the Muslim poet, to reply back onto him and in his well-known qasida, which is حجوت محمدا فأجبت عنه, to the rest where he says. Anyway, so when he embraced Islam, before he embraced Islam actually, he had met the Prophet on the way to Mecca. And the Prophet of Allah is keeping his face away from him and from Abdullah ibn Abi Umayyah also, the other person, because they have done lots of things against Islam. And he doesn't want to just have a look at him. He doesn't want to, even though he embraced Islam, but he's not really, he's not digesting him basically. So what he had done, he went to his other cousin, that is Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, and he said to him, I don't know what to do. Every time I show myself to the Prophet of Allah, he's not really looking at me, and he's not forgiving me, and he's not accepting my Islam. So he said to him, well, you know, you have to meet him and say to him the following. And this is wonderful and ajib from Ali ibn Abi Talib, to extract from the story of Yusuf alayhi salam something, okay, that could be used. So the Prophet of Allah and the Prophet of Allah will have no position except to say what Yusuf had said. It's like you're cornering the Prophet of Allah. So he went to the Prophet ﷺ and he told him what to do. And as soon as he said to the Prophet of Allah, he said to him, Verily, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had gave preference for you over us and we are wrong. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said to him straight away, لا تثريب عليكم اليوم. He had to, you know, imitate the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, his brother. لا تثريب عليكم اليوم. This hadith, by the way, our Shaykh al-Albani makes it Hasan. لا تثريب عليكم اليوم. There's no blame upon you. يغفر الله لكم. Allah will forgive for you. And then he started to make a poetry. And this poetry, I would like to quote that, and I'm just making my best to translate it. He said, لعمرك إني يوم أحمل راية لتغلب خيل اللاتي خيل محمد. Verily, behold, when you see me, I'm holding a banner in which I want the horses of Allat, that means the army of Allat, which is the false god, to defeat the horses of Muhammad, that means Islam. كالمدلج الحيران أظلم ليله. That is like, or كالمدلج, the person who goes during the night, really dark night, and he is confused. This is the one who's been doing this, who was trying to make his horses of the god, Allah, which is a false god, to defeat Muhammad. It's like a person who is confused in a dark night. فهذا أواني حين أهدى فأهتدي. This is my time now to be guided, so I will be guided. هداني هاد غير نفسي ودلني على الله. That is, the one who guided me is not myself, and the one who had guided me to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, من طردت كل مطرد. The one who had been chasing up and criticizing, that is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had struck him in his chest and he said, you are the one who has been chasing me up and calling me all sorts of things. And he had accepted, he said, the Islam of Abu Sufyan. And remember, it's not Abu Sufyan Harb. Abu Sufyan is different Abu Sufyan. There's Abu Sufyan, his cousin, the son of Al-Harith, the eldest brother of the sons of Abdul Muttalib. Or the eldest son, I should say, and the eldest brother of his father, the eldest brother, the son of Abdul Muttalib. Right, he's the one actually, when 2 months later, or 1 month later, after the repossession of Mecca, the Battle of Hunayn took place. And if you remember the strategy of the enemies, they had hid themselves in order to have the element of surprise against Islam or the Muslim army, and they showered them with lots of arrows. And because as well, some things that happened when they left, there were 12,000, and some of them they said, we're not going to be defeated from being few in number. So they were boasting about their number, and they think that their power is stemming from what? Their number. Allah wanted to show them that this is not your number, is giving you the victory, it is actually the blessings of Allah and the Iman. So when they showed them with the arrows, they scattered all over the place, the Muslims. And the Prophet of Allah, he was on his own, on top of his camel, Aswad. And the one who's holding the camel is Abu Sufyan, the son of Al-Harith's cousin. And the Prophet of Allah is charging against the enemy on his own. And Nabiyyu la kadib. And Ibn Abdul Muttalib, I am the Prophet. There's no doubt about that. There's no lie about this. I am the son of Abdul Muttalib, meaning that the grandchildren from Abdul Muttalib, because the son is the grandson is the same. And verily, he says, Abu Sufyan al-Harith, I was holding the camel not to go towards the enemy, but the Prophet of Allah charging. And then when he said this, Muslims gathered around him, and the table turned the other way side around, and the Muslims had the victory. Abu Sufyan always says regarding himself, is always, I can't bear to look at the Prophet of Allah being shy of what I've done in my previous time. Shy of what I've done in my previous time. Right, so now, what Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam had said to his brothers. Remember, the brothers of Yusuf alayhi salam are two halves now. Some were staying with Yaqub, and some, they came with this little items to get some food and get their brothers as well, and they came, we got little, some sort of, just to give you. But tasaddaq alayna, give us, because you are the person who always, we try you all the time to be a muhsin, good person, to give back. And then he said, you know what you've done to Yusuf and his brother. And they looked now, because he's spoken to the Hebrew language, and their language, they looked at, oh, it's Yusuf, you are Yusuf. Yes, I am Yusuf, and this is my brother. And his brother came out, he was not in slavery, he was honored. So now, he says to them, take my shirt, so give his shirt, which is next to his body, give it to my father. His father has already lost his eyesight, and he will come back to seeing. And this is, as I said, from the prophethood, miracles. So they took the shirt now, and now we're going to be talking to the verses, which is verse 94, yes? وَلَمَّا فَصَلَتِ الْعِيدُ قَالَ أَبُوهُمْ إِنِّي لَأَجِدُ رِيحَ يُوسُفَ لَوْلَا تُفَنِّدُونَ.
Translation of the meaning. And when the caravan departed, their father said, I do perceive the scent of Yusuf, if you do not think me a feeble-minded person.
If you don't think I am what?
Feeble-minded.
Feeble-minded, okay. When the shirt been taken by those messengers who will take it, which is the brothers of Yusuf al-Salam, and they got close to Palestine. This is where he's Yaqub al-Salam. He got close to Palestine. This is the miracle now. He had smelt, okay, the shirt. Now, smelling the shirt, we do have some elaboration. Can you just go to the interpretation, please?
Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma said that when the caravan departed, the wind blew and brought the smell of Yusuf a.s. shirt to Yaqub a.s. So he said, I do perceive the scent of Yusuf, if you do not think me a feeble-minded person. It is said that he perceived a smell from a distance of 3 days.
And some of them, they said 8 days. Allahu a'lam. Okay, then remember Yusuf a.s., he had left his father for more than 31 years at least. 31 years at least. Some of them said even more than that. You need a more interpretation? Yeah, you don't have them. Okay, he says, لَوْلَا أَن تُفَنِّدُونَ. He says to them, had it been they're going to accuse me of being feeble-minded, a better word, senile. Senility. Senility means like, when you get old, you don't know what you're saying, so you think that you don't know what I'm saying. If I'm going to say to you now, I'm smelling the smell of the shirt of Yusuf, you're going to say to me, what are you talking about? You're ill man. So they said bad word, basically. Okay? So do you have anything about Abu Abbas? He said about the Tufanidun, more senility? Okay. Well, basically there's more interpretation here for Ibn Kathir, right? Now, as he expected, they said, قَالُوا تَاللَّهِ إِنَّكَ لَفِي ضَلَالِكَ الْقَدِيمِ.
They said, by Allah, you are still suffering from your old illusions.
SubhanAllah. So they didn't disappoint him. They said what he expected. They did not disappoint him. They said exactly what he had thought they're going to say. You are still, in your dreams. That means basically you're ill-minded. It's a bad word. Still, you see, they got Iman, but they got as well some things wrong there. Now,
and Suddi said that they had spoken of a bad word.
Okay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, yes, فَلَمَّا أَنْ جَاءَ الْبَشِيرُ أَلْقَاهُ عَلَى وَجْهِهِ فَارْتَدَّ بَصِيرًا.
So when the bearer of glad tidings came to him and cast the shirt on his face, he immediately regained his sight.
Right, this is the miracle. Do you have any elaboration for that?
As soon as he came and put Yusuf a.s.'s shirt on his eyes, Yaqub a.s. regained his eyesight and then said to his sons,
أَلَمْ أَقُلْ لَكُمْ إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مِنَ اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ.
Did I not say to you that I know from Allah that which you do not know?
Which is?
I knew that Allah will bring Yusuf a.s. to me and gather us together. You accused me of being in old age and feeble-minded, senile, but I knew of Allah's sign and His promise.
Now they have realized their mistake, because they've seen the miracle. Shirt being thrown to the Prophet Yaqub, and Yaqub got his sight back. This is the miracle. They could see with their own eyes. They realized their mistake. So they said, قالوا يا أبانا استغفر لنا ذنوبنا إنا كنا خاطئين.
The sons now said, Our father, ask for forgiveness for our sins. Surely we have been sinful.
So,
ask for our forgiveness from Allah for our sins and wrongs, as they had the intention of repentance before they committed their crimes. Allah guided them to ask for it, and their father responded to their request.
Basically, from their intention, Allah sensed that the intention was sincere intention to repent to Allah before they have actually asked, and that is why Allah had guided them to seek istighfar when this taking place. Right, now the father had responded to their request, saying, قال سوف أستغفر لكم ربي إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.
I will ask my Lord to forgive you. Surely He is the all forgiving and all merciful.
More elaboration?
That's it.
There's no more elaboration though?
No.
Right. So he said to them, سوف أستغفر لكم ربي. I will seek forgiveness for you. Here the word سوف. Some of the scholars, they said that the Prophet Yaqub, he had delayed this istighfar, seeking forgiveness for them, until the time before the dawn, which is the last third of the night, which is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَبِالْأَسْحَارِ هُمْ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ. Those who are righteous people, they always seek forgiveness at that time, which is the most, you could say, responded time, the most time that Allah would respond to any dua, because this is the last of the night, and the Prophet ﷺ, he said, when the last of the night comes, Allah Azza will descend, a descendance which is suitable to His Majesty, and He would say, who is going to ask and I will give him, and who is going to seek forgiveness and I will forgive him, and who is going to seek dua and I will fulfill his request. من يدعوني فأستجيب له من يستغفرني فأغفر له من يسألني فأعطيه. All these three things. So that is why the scholars, they said, the interpreters, most likely that Yaqub alayhi salam had delayed, because he said سوف. Now there is a hadith which is ضعيف. It is not very ضعيف, which is not authentic, but we could use that to help us to say that when Yusuf when Yaqub alayhi salam, the father of Yusuf, had made his dua. This is, you'll find it in a number of books like al-Tabarani. The uncle of Muharib, he said, I was passing by the house of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, and he heard him saying, Allahumma da'awtani fa'ajabtu wa amartani fa'ata'tu wa hada as-sahar faghfir. Oh Lord, you've asked me and I responded. You asked me to call you and I responded. Wa amartani, and you commanded me and I obeyed. And this is the time of the sahar. The sahar means that just before the dawn, before the fajr. Faghfir li, seek forgiveness for me. So he asked Allah Mas'ud, regarding this, why you are really seeking that, forgiveness at that time. He said, verily, Yaqub alayhi salam, when his sons asked him for forgiveness, he delayed. He said, sawwafa, the one sawwafa, he delayed it until the last moment before Fajr. Akhir as-sahar. That is why Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he was doing his dua at that time. And I just said, always when you make dua, choose the times where most likely more probability for your dua to be accepted, and you can't find better time than the last moments of the last, you could say, minutes or hours just before Fajr. That is the last day of the night. Now, we finished, yes? This whole story is finished?
Yeah.
Huh?
And then there's the verse 99 to 101.
Okay, right, yes. Right, we come to the following verse. I'm really surprised that they did not translate some of that. فلما دخلوا على يوسف آوى إليه أبويه وقال دخلوا مصر إن شاء الله آمين. Is that one? Is that one? Yes, go on.
Translation of the meaning in English. So when they entered before Yusuf alayhi salam, he provided a home for his parents with himself and said, enter into Egypt, if Allah pleases, in safety.
Right. More repetition.
This is the closing chapter of this beautiful story, which carried so many lessons and admonition for mankind. When the parents of Yusuf ﷺ came to him after such a long time, he received them with full honor and threw his arms around them. Another opinion says that Yusuf ﷺ met them in a tent outside Egypt, and when they came closer to the land of Egypt, Yusuf ﷺ said, "Enter into Egypt if Allah pleases in safety." Suddi said, it, however, enter could also be taken to mean dwell and stay, and that would also make a perfect meaning.
In the Quran, as I said, if you remember, he always وَخَلَصُوا نَجِيٍّ, remember the word? Just a few words. We don't need to know how Yusuf alayhi salam, exactly met them, and he, for example, he put a tent outside and all of that before they went into Egypt. It's not really very important. The most important thing that he received his parents, and he said, "Udkhulu Misr," because he is a person in charge, and with safety. Now comes to the interpretation of the dream. وَرَفَعَ أَبَوَيْهِ, yes? Still? Yes, وَرَفَعَ أَبَوَيْهِ عَلَى الْعَرْشِ وَخَرُّوا لَهُ سُجَّدًا وَقَالَ يَا أَبَتِ هَذَا تَأْوِيلُ رُؤْيَايَ مِنْ قَبْلُ قَدْ جَعَلَهَا رَبِّي حَقًّا. Now,
and he raised his parents high on the throne, and they fell down in prostration before him. He said, "My father, this is the fulfillment of my dream before. My Lord has made it come true."
There's no interpretation?
Yeah.
Go on.
According to the scholars of Torah, his mother had already died. But
we have no idea about that. We know the Quran says, وَرَفَعَ أَبَوَيْهِ. أَبَوَيْهِ means father and mother. Remember when we saw at the beginning of the book, when we said that one of the options that is why that he was disliked, that he's not, the mother was alive, she was not alive, he was looked after by the other co-wife of Yaqub, which is the mother of the other 10 children, okay? So this is like call it stepmother, stepmother of Yusuf alayhi salam. But we don't have a proof for that, so let the Torah say whatever they want. We can't belie them, we can't believe them, but we say what the Quran has said. وَرَفَعَ أَبَوَيْهِ. His parents, he had put them on the throne, on the place where he is. Now,
but some exegetes suggest that she was brought back to life. However, others said it is his aunt, Leah, who is meant by popularity of the parenthood in this verse.
That's from the Torah, all of it. Now, Ibn Jarir,
rahimahullah, and others said, the Quran apparently shows that his mother was alive by that time, and so we do not refer to the books of the Jews and the Christians, and this is a very strong notion. When he took his parents and made them sit side by side on his throne.
Following question. So why the Quran is always talked about what happened to the heart of Yaqub alayhi salam regarding the loss of his son, Yusuf, and he did not mention anything about his mother. The reason behind this could be many. One of them is that Yaqub alayhi salam is a prophet. And also, you cannot express more of love emotions than the emotions of Yaqub to his son. So regardless of what his mother, she had any emotions, Yaqub was even more. Because he's a prophet. And he knows from his son he will be a prophet, where his wife doesn't know that. And he is the one who had seen the dream, and even he told him not to say it to anybody. Maybe to his mother as well. Because when he said in the story, he said, Ya abati, hada ta'wil ru'ya. He didn't say, my parents, my father and mother, this is the interpretation of my dream. He said, what? My father. That means his mother, she doesn't know. And most likely, if he told her, she might tell what? The others, because she will start to boast about her son regarding the other brothers of his. So that's more likely he did not tell her. So the Quran was focused upon a prophet emotions, which is Yaqub, which is enough and sufficing. That's one of the reasons. Fine. Now this is now we're finding 11 planets, which is the 11 brothers. That is the 10 plus the little brother of his is 11, and sun and the moon. Sun is father, and the moon is mother. All of them prostrating to Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. Go ahead.
When he took his parents and made them sit by his side, by his throne, they and all of his 11 brothers bowed down before him in prostration to demonstrate their respect and honor to him. However, in Islam, it has been forbidden for us to show honor by bowing down to others or prostrating before them.
Finished? Well, basically, the sujood is of two kinds. Sujood ibadah and sujood takreem wa tahiyyah. Sujood ibadah, prostration of, that is worship. And that is haram in all shara'a. Whether the sharia of Musa alayhi salam, sharia of Ibrahim alayhi salam, the sharia of Isa alayhi salam, the sharia of Nuh alayhi salam, all the legislation that came from the prophets, to prostrate to somebody for the sake of worship, is haram. Shirk. This is only for Allah. The second type of prostration is the prostration for honoring, for welcoming, for, as I said, saying that we are expressing our gratitude to you, not ibadah. And that was allowed in all the sharia before, save our sharia, which is the sharia of the Prophet Muhammad. It was allowed. And that is the prostration that has been done by the angels to Prophet alayhi salam. This is the prostration that is Mu'adh ibn Jabal had done to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Mu'adh ibn Jabal, he went to Sham, some which is Yemen, and he saw that the Batariqa and the court, the ones who are around the king, they prostrate out of reverence and respect to their king. So he said to himself, Prophet of Allah is more deserved of such a thing. So when he got back to Medina and saw the Prophet, straight away he prostrated to him. So the Prophet said, what is this? The Messenger of Allah, I have seen in Bilad Sham or in Yemen, because he was in Yemen, that they were prostrating to their monarchs, and I think there's no one is more deserved to be prostrated to than yourself. So the Prophet of Allah, he said, it's not allowed. And if I want to command anyone to prostrate to anyone, I would have commanded the wife to prostrate to whom? Their husband. More or further discussion of this you'll find in the Silsila Sahihah 1203. Right. Then he says, verses which says, قال وقد أحسن بي إذ أخرجني من السجن وجاء بكم من البدو. Yes.
So Abati, we didn't finish that yet.
Yes.
He said, my father, this is the fulfillment of my dream before.
I said to ask you, is there anything? He said to me, no. I was waiting for you. He said to me, no, go.
Yusuf remembered straight away his dream of childhood and said, Father, my dream came true, which I saw that the sun and the moon and the 11 stars were bowing down to me. You had asked me not to disclose it to anybody. Do you remember now? Now next, my Lord has made it come true.
Okay. Now, yeah, made it come true, yes.
He did grant me his favor when he took me out of prison.
Yes, now the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam is counting the blessings that Allah has given him. First one, قَدْ جَعَلَهَا رَبِّي حَقًّا. This dream, he made it what to be? Coming true. Number two, وَقَدْ أَحْسَنَ بِي. And he was kind to me. إِذَا خَرَجَنِي مِنَ السِّجْنِ وَجَاءَ بِكُم مِنَ الْبَدْوِ مِنْ بَعْدِ أَنْ نَزَغَ الشَّيْطَانُ بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَ إِخْوَتِي إِنَّ رَبِّي لَطِيفٌ لِمَا يَشَاءُ إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْعَلِيمُ الْحَكِيمُ رَبِّي قَدْ آتَيْتَنِي مِنَ الْمُلْكِ وَعَلَّمْتَنِي مِنْ تَأْوِيلِ الْأَحَادِيثِ فاطر السماوات والأرض أنت ولي في الدنيا والآخرة توفني مسلما وألحقني بالصالحين. All of those, the favor that Allah had given to Prophet Yusuf. Translate please.
Translation of the meaning. My Lord has made it come true. He did grant me his favor when he took me out of the prison. And when he brought you here out of the desert after Shaitan had set discord between me and my brothers. My Lord is subtle to who he wills. Surely he is all-knowing and all-wise. My Lord, you have indeed bestowed upon me an authority and taught me of the interpretation of dreams. You are the originator of the heavens and the earth. You are my protector in this life and in the hereafter. Let me die as a Muslim and unite me with the righteous.
All interpretation for you.
So after all my sufferings and hardship, he has now made me the ruler of Egypt.
It's Allah the Almighty made him the ruler of that.
My law is abided by and honored wherever I go. You lived in this remote area of the desert, and now you have and he has brought you here to live with me. And when my Lord wants to do something, he creates the means for that and the right environment for it to happen. He knows all things and he is all wise. Now Yusuf ﷺ found that the favors of Allah has been completed upon him, and he is united with his parents and family. He knew that this world is a temporary transit station, and then death approaches everybody. He now thanked Allah and showed his gratitude for him and prayed to him for a virtuous life in this world and to die as a Muslim. And it is also possible that he made this prayer at the time of his death, as our Prophet ﷺ did at the time of his death, when he said, "O Allah, Rafiq al-Ala," and he said it 3 times.
Finish everything.
It could be that Yusuf ﷺ asked the death when he was quite healthy. That was probably allowed in their Sharia. As Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu has narrated, no prophet has ever desired death except Yusuf. In our Sharia, it is forbidden to desire for death except on occasions such as time of fitna. A prayer is narrated from Mu'adh radiallahu anhu, in which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "And when you put a people to trial, take us to you, Allah, before it, that is without being put to test." In another hadith it said, "O son of Adam, death is better for you than fitna," the trial and affliction. And Maryam, peace be upon her, made this desire, that would that I had died before this and become a thing forgotten. Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, the 4th Khalifa, desired death when the fitna became severe in his time and people started fighting and killing each other. It was the same case with Imam Bukhari rahimahullah, when his opponents started giving him a hard time. However, in the time of ease, the case is different. Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "One should not desire death due to some harm inflicted upon him, because if he has been a doer of good, then he will increase his goodness and reward. And if he has been a doer of evil, then he may repent, and one may say, O Allah, grant me life as long as the life is better for me, and make me die if the death was better for me." What harm means here are illnesses and diseases one is inflicted upon his body, and nothing about his religion. It is clear that Yusuf a.s. desired that either at the time of his death or before that.
That's it. After that is the death of Yaqub alayhi salam.
Surah al-Baqarah verse.
It's the death of Yaqub, I think, alayhi salam.
Yeah.
Yes. Just put a title on the death of Yaqub. Right, let me just summarize what is being said, and I'll also elaborate, which is very important elaboration regarding this issue. That is, Yusuf alayhi salam, when he said, "Tawaffani wa tawaffani musliman wa alhiqni bis-salihin," make me to die as a Muslim. This could be, that is, asking for death, or it could be that he's asking Allah Azza wa Jalla for him to be steadfast onto Islam. Both is correct. Now, we just be steadfast on Islam. Everybody wants to say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, "Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatih wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun." Die not except in Islam. So, Lord, make me to die as a Muslim. So that means not wishing for death. Second interpretation is that Yusuf alayhi salam is asking for their death. And that is the second interpretation for that. And here, either that is, he was saying it is the deathbed of his, or he's saying it in the time of the fitan. There's no fitan now, because Yusuf alayhi salam now is united with his family, and he's the best of his time, basically. There's no fitan. And then he went on to add some elaboration regarding the fitan. First of all, let me just make sure that you understand that when Allah's Messenger had said the following dua, اللهم إني أسألك فعل الخيرات وترك المنكرات وحب المساكين واقبضني إليك غير مفتون. That is, O Lord, I ask you to do the good and reject the evil and the love of the poor, and to make me die before fitna that you want to impose upon your slaves. This dua tells us that the person always asks Allah to make him to die before the fitna. And that is the dua of Umar Khattab radiallahu anhu. Also the Prophet ﷺ, he said there will be a time when this fitna time, the person will be passed by the grave and he will say to the grave, I wish I'm instead of you. I'm there instead of you. That means I'm dead. Okay? I wish I'm instead of you. That means I wish that I'm not alive to see this fitna. Because he can't commit suicide, it's haram. So he wishes he'd been dead before he lives such a fitna. Also, Maryam, the mother of Isa alayhi salam, when she was in such difficulty, Allah Azza wa Jal had sent Jibreel salam to blow into her garment and she had pregnancy, she had no male intervention. What are the people going to say about her? That's extreme fitna, difficulty. And that's when she said, that is, يا ليتني مت قبل هذا وكنت نسيا منسيا. I wish I had died before this and I was forgotten. Now this is the interpretation which is the literal one. It could mean that she's wishing for death before she's got this, but also could mean, which is a strong meaning, that is, I wish that I had no pregnancy the rest of my life. So there's another interpretation for that. It means that I was not to be alive to have such a pregnancy. I mean, not to be pregnant the rest of my life. And that will be going along with that you can't wish for death. But let's say that she's wishing for death. That's an extreme difficulty because she was in a situation that she's going to be accused by zina and fornication, that she had no male intervention, all of that. But if the person is asking for death because of the pain, because of the disease, that's haram. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, لا يتمنين أحدكم الموت. No one is to ask for death. If he was in extreme circumstances, like for example, not the fitness, talking about pain and all of that, Allahumma, O Lord, make me to live as long as the life is good for me. O Lord, make me to die if death is good for me. So you're leaving it in the hands of Allah, you're not wishing for death. In difficulties, I said, we've got, as I said, the Prophet of Allah's dua, اللهم إني أسألك فعل الخيرات وترك المنكرات حب المساكين واقبضني إليك غير مفتون. And also, we find as well others who had wished for death, not just many from the past, also Ali ibn Abi Talib, regarding the Battle of Siffin, where Aisha, she was there. Not Siffin, so the Battle of Jamal, when she was there. He said, I would have wished to die before I witnessed this battle, which is the Battle of what? Al-Jamal. Well, she did not initiate it, where he had honored Aisha, he put her on a camel, he sent her back. But lots of people died around Aisha from both sides, companions. And also Imam al-Bukhari, rahimahullah, people had accused him of all sorts of things. He had also wished to be dead before this fitna takes place. And as I said, the Prophet Allah said, if the persons in the days of the fitna, the best thing for him is that a group of sheep herding them or grazing them on top of a mountain, away from the fitna. يرعى بها في شرف الجبال, on top of the mountain, away from the fitna. And this is when we say to the person, maybe the uzla, the isolation, and segregating, so getting yourself away from all of that would be the best. So al-uzla, to seclude yourself, to keep away from the people. But as Imam Shafi'i had said, كن بين القبض والبسط, be between too much open and too much yourself. Too much yourself people are going to call you unsocial. People are not going to love you. They hate you. They don't like you. And too much open, you're going to compromise lots of things. People are going to step onto your lines. They're going to, negotiate your principles, your concepts. So you're going to be putting that on the line to be tampered with. So be between this and that. Too much yourself and open. Fine. Now, Yusuf ﷺ had acknowledged what Allah had given him, that he had got him out of the well, made him to be in the house of Al-Aziz, looked after, also got him away from the plot of those women, got him from the prison, made him to rule, made him also to devise that plan in order for his family to come to him, and the story is finished. Let's now talk about some of the benefits that we gain from that story, and here I'm reading some of those benefits from the book of Shaykh Salih rahimahullah, which is the story of the prophets. I quoted some of that. Most of what I've done is not from the book, but this I find it very beneficial regarding the benefits. The benefits start with, and if we'd like to document this because it's really good as well, we're going to be adding lots of things here, is that first thing is that we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started the surah نَحْنُ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ نَبَأَهُمْ بِالْحَقِّ. This is Surah Al-Kahf. Also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala نَحْنُ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ أَحْسَنَ الْقَصَصِ. So these are stories for you to learn. First one, which is al-ihsan. Al-ihsan means kind or kindness. And it is a reason for the happiness of the slave in the dunya and the akhirah. Yusuf alayhi salam set for us the best of examples regarding the ihsan. When we see, for example, Allah Azza wa Jalla testifies for him, وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُحْسِنِينَ. And that's how we recompense the muhsineen, the kind people, and amongst them Yusuf alayhi salam. Also Allah says, وَكَذَلِكَ مَكَّنَّا لِيُوسُفَ فِي الْأَرْضِ, and he says, وَلَا نُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Also he testified for him the ones who were with him in the prison. وَدَخَلَ مَعْهُ السِّجْنَ فَتَيَانِ, two had entered with him in the prison. They said at the end, إِنَّا نَرَاكَ مِنَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Please interpret for us the dreams, for where we see you from, the ones who are kind. Also his brothers, the one who threw him in the well, testified for him, قَالُوا يَا أَيُّهَا الْعَزِيزِ. And then he said, إِنَّا نَرَاكَ مِنَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. We could see that you are from the kind people. And also Yusuf alayhi salam, he had said what Allah had given as favors upon him regarding or in recompense for his ihsan and his patience and his taqwa. قَالَ أَنَا Yusuf, when he said to his brothers, I am Yusuf, and this is my brother. Allah had given us his favors. Verily, who is patient, and the one who is as well has piety, for verily Allah does not neglect or waste the reward of those who are kind, muhsineen. And you could see the ihsan of Yusuf in the following. Number one, between him and his Lord. Whether the Lord, the Allah, the Almighty, the Lord, which is Al-Aziz, the one who is looking after him. قَالَ مَعَذَ اللَّهِ, when she seduced him, well, God forbid, إِنَّهُ رَبِّي أَحْسَنَ مَثْوَايَ. He is my Lord. This could be Allah, or it could be what? The master of his. إِنَّهُ لَا يُفْلِحُ الظَّالِمُونَ. That's ihsan. So ihsan also, when he was coming out of the prison, he never as well pointed a finger towards whom? Wife of Al-Aziz. So that's ihsan. Also his ihsan of Yusuf alayhi salam regarding his actions when he said, that is, make me, O king, to be in charge of the treasures. So that's ihsan because he knows what he can capable of and he had done his job in the best of ways. It's ihsan to the ones who are the prison mates. And he told them and called them to Tawheed. And that's ihsan. And ihsan when he had interpreted for them the dream. Ihsan. And ihsan when he did not say to any of them which one is going to be killed. Ihsan. Ihsan also to his brothers when they came to him after they've done what they've done, yet they gave them, and he gave them with honor, gave them with generosity, everything they wanted, and even he returned back with them the item that they brought to swap for that food. His ihsan to his father and his brothers. Also when he sent his shirt with his brothers to his father in order for his father to return back to what you can see, his ihsan to all his family when he brought them in safety and security to Egypt. So we have the ihsan of Yusuf alayhi salam in all of that. The types of ihsan are three types. Number one, between you and your Lord. And this is the best. And this is what the Prophet ﷺ told us about the ihsan between you and your Lord. And ta'bud Allah ka'annaka tarah. To worship Allah is like you see him. فَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ تَرَاهُ فَإِنَّهُ يَرَاكَ. If you don't see him, he sees you. So the first stage, that is, which is ibadat al-mushahid, that you are worshipping Allah like you see him. Then the second stage, which is less, the ihsan, and ta'bud Allah, that is, if you don't see him, he sees you, which is al-muraqabah, to observe yourself, watchfulness, from mushahid. So here, al-ihsan, the person to believe when he worships Allah, that Allah is seeing him, looking at him. Okay? And when you do that, then this will make you to leave all types of sins. And from the examples of that, Yusuf alayhi salam, when he was seduced by the wife of Al-Aziz, she locked the doors. She said, go ahead. He said, ma'ad Allah, no way. That's the ihsan. To worship Allah, because he had straight away remembered Allah Azza wa Jalla. Prevented him from going along with that temptation. Also, the A'rabi, which is a story of his when he wanted to fornicate with an Arabiya, Bedouin women, in the middle of the desert. So he said to her, nothing we can see us except for the stars. So she said, woe to you, what about the Lord of the stars? And this is the ihsan, because she was saying and emphasizing that she what? Believes that Allah can see her. Allah is seeing her. Also the woman who had, at the time of Umar Khattab, the reign of his Khilafah, when she said to her daughter, come on, mix up the milk with water. That means when we sell it, we give it, so nobody will find out it's really pure milk or not. So the girl, she said, Mother, Umar forbids that. Told us off to doing this. Mother, she said, Umar cannot see us. The daughter, she said, Mother, if Umar can't see us, then the Lord of Umar can see us. This is ihsan from the girl, because she believes that Allah can see her. The type of ihsan, which is number two, is the ihsan in the actions. الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. The one who created death and life in order to test you. Who is the best ahsan, best in deeds and actions. So it is not really you look at how much actions and deeds you've done. It's actually look at the quality of that, how much ihsan in it, which is to fulfill the following two conditions. Number one, that is ikhlas, sincerity to Allah. Number two is to follow the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. خالصا صوابا الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. Al-Fudayl ibn Iyad, he said, that is akhlasuhu wa aswalu. These two conditions. And with this quality, then you get a mighty reward. Look, simple acts, how much reward? Any Muslim makes wudu with these two, ikhlas to Allah, following the sunnah of the Prophet to Allah, then all his sins will be forgiven. He will be entering paradise. A man, he was walking on the road. He found a prickling thorn. So he removed it. And he thanked Allah. Allah forgave for him. Prophet ﷺ, he said, the angels had met a soul from the believers. And they asked his soul, did you do anything? She said, no. Remember? She said, well, I used to give loans to the people. And I used to tell the person who is collecting this loan, the debts, to see that if they are in hardship, to overlook them. So Allah would say, I have overlooked you because of that. Ikhlas, sincerity. and following the sunnah of the Prophet of Allah, these can turn into mighty reward. The third type is to be kind to others. So the Muslim in this dunya should be not just good between him and his Lord, and not good just in his actions, but also to be kind to others. And this can be seen in being kind to your parents. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ. By being kind to your parents, being kind to your kinship. If you want your lifespan to be increased, live longer. If you want your wealth to increase, then make the following, which is join your kinship. مَنْ أَرَادَ أَنْ يُبْسَطَ فِي رِزْقِهِ وَأَنْ يُنْسَأَ فِي أَجَلِهِ فَلْيَصِلْ رَحِمَهُ. Subhanallah. Everybody's after long age. And everybody is after what? As well as money. So just do that. Not only this, another type, which is being good to the neighbors. Because the Prophet of Allah said, حُسْنُ الْخُلُقِ وَحُسْنُ الْجِوَارِ وَصِلَةُ الرَّحِمِ يُعَمِّرَانِ الدِّيَارِ وَيَزِيدَانِ فِي الْأَعْمَالِ. Listen, حُسْنُ الْخُلُقِ, good conduct. That's from ihsan. And joining the kinship and being good to your neighbors, this will increase your livelihood, يُعَمِّرَانِ الدِّيَارِ, and also they will increase your lifespan. What more do you want? So we find that the ihsan to your father, to your mother, to your neighbor. Look at this hadith. Prophet ﷺ, he said to a man who had asked him the following question: how do I know that I'm doing good or bad? Prophet said, well, if you heard your neighbor saying that you're good, that means you're good. And your neighbor said that you're bad, that means you're bad. Look at that. Subhanallah. Ahsan ila jarik. I'm going to give you now some advices that the Prophet prompted and enjoined Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. So Abu Hurairah said, the Prophet he said, who is going to take from me the following words and he act upon them? So he would teach and also implement. Abu Hurairah said, me messenger of Allah. So he took hold of my hand and he counted 5. Those 5 are اتق المحارم تكن أعبد الناس. Fear the inviolables of Allah. Keep away from what Allah's said to be haram. Then you will be the most worshipper amongst the people. وارض بما قسم الله لك تكن أغنى الناس. وارض, that means be satisfied with what Allah had given you from this dunya. You will be the most richest people, a person amongst the people. وأحسن إلى جارك تكن مؤمنا. And be kind to your neighbor and you'll be a believer. وأحب للناس ما تحب لنفسك تكن مسلما. And love to the people what you love to yourself. You'll be a Muslim, proper Muslim. ولا تكثر الضحك. And do not increase in laughter. فإن كثرة الضحك تميت القلب. Overly too much laughter will make your heart to die. Be kind to your wives or to your wife, whatever. ألا واستوصوا بالنساء خير. Prophet Allah, a number of times in the Eid khutbah, he says, take care of the women. خيركم خيركم لأهل. Best of you is the best to his wife. And ihsan to your daughters. For verily, the person who's got daughters and he has many of them and he was kind to them, there will be a barrier between him and the hellfire. Kindness to animals. When the person sharpens his knife away from the animal and makes it sure that it will straight away kill the animal and he will kill it in the best of way, and this is as well from the ihsan. So this is ihsan in all types. As we said, what are the fruits that we're going to gain from this ihsan? Number 1, you'll be with Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَمَعَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Allah is with the ones who are kind. Allah, إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ مُحْسِنُونَ. Allah is with the ones who are pious and the ones who are making ihsan. Second, you're going to get and gain the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is will suffice you. Just that Allah loves you. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Number of verses. Allah loves the muhsineen. Number of it. وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Allah loves the ones who are making ihsan. Third one, mercy. Mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, إِنَّ رَحْمَةَ اللَّهِ قَرِيبٌ مِنَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Verily the mercy of Allah is close to the muhsineen. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Yusuf, He says, قال أصيب برحمتنا من نشاء. We give the rahmah to whoever we will. ولا نضيع أجر المحسنين. We don't waste and neglect the reward of those who are in ihsan. The fourth thing you're going to get as a fruit, which is the mighty reward. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ أَعَدَّ لِلْمُحْسِنَاتِ مِنْكُنَّ أَجْرًا عَظِيمًا. Allah had prepared for those who are muhsinat amongst you, the wives of the Prophet, that is a mighty reward. الَّذِينَ سَجَابُوا لِلَّهِ وَالرَّسُولِ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا أَصَابَهُمُ الْقَرْحِ لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا مِنْهُمْ وَاتَّقَوْا أَجْرٌ عَظِيمٌ. To the battle of Uhud, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying the one that who responded to Allah and His Messenger, and after they have been struck with this calamity, they will have a mighty reward. So also in Surah Yusuf عليه السلام, قالوا وإنك لأنت يوسف. They said their brother to Yusuf, you are Yusuf, isn't it? That I am Yusuf, and this is my brother. قال من الله علينا. Allah gave us His favors. إنه من يتقي ويصبر فإن الله لا يضيع أجره. So it's a mighty reward. The fifth thing as a reward for the ihsan, as a fruit, is you're going to gain Jannah, and that is the best thing. وَلِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا. For those who are doing ihsan, al-husna. What is husna? Jannah. وَزِيَادَةً. And that is seeing the Almighty subhanahu wa ta'ala. By this, we come to the end of first session of, or the end of the story of Yusuf, the first session of the benefits. Inshallah, we'll continue the last episode for Yusuf alayhi salam next week with more benefits to gain, inshallah. If you have any questions regarding what we've heard, and our class, as we said, going to be straight away after Isha prayer. Now, mashallah, it's 1 hour. Right. Yaqub will finish it, inshallah, after we'll finish.
Sheikh, who consists of kinship? Who consists of kinship?
Who consists of kinship? Kinship is of, if you imagine circles, and you are in the middle. So there's the inner circle, there's an outer circle, and an outer circle, and outer circle. So the one which is the inside is sons, daughters, mother, father. Then you go further, brothers, sisters. You go further, the sons of the brothers and the sons of the sisters. You go further, then the brothers of the father, which is the uncles, so on and so forth. Go further, and each one is considered to be kinship. So when one of the companions, he was very rich, and the Prophet ﷺ had the following verse revealed to him: لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. You will not gain the proper bir, righteousness, until you spend from what you love. This companion had al-bayruha, very big orchard. Said, Messenger of Allah, I love this one, and I want to give it for the sake of Allah. So he said, give it to your arham, next of kin. So he divided it between his next of kin, which is his relatives. Some of them are his cousins, so his cousins from his relatives. The cousins, first cousin, second cousin, third cousin. Unfortunately, these days, the people, they don't know their cousins. Okay, they know the ones who their father told them, but he doesn't know because their names are messed up. You know, so he could be, for example, Muhammad ibn Ali, and his brother is Ahmad ibn Ahmad, Ahmad ibn Alayan. You know, you can't find he's a brother or not unless they've been told. But this is where the names comes in importance. So, for example, I know now Abu Sufyan, the son of al-Harith, son of al-Muttalib, is the cousin of the Prophet Allah, because the Prophet Allah is named Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn al-Muttalib. So their grandfather is the same. So I knew that they're cousins. If I don't follow this way of, or method of knowing this, then I will not know, man. And that is why Umar Khattab said, تعرفوا على أنسابكم تعرفوا أرحامكم. Know your lineage, then you will know your rahim. تعلموا أنسابكم. Learn what is your nasab, your family tree. Okay? And I'm sorry, but you come from Bangladesh, you don't have that at all. He knows that. Yeah. He's a Bangladeshi as well, sorry. Yeah, they don't have that at all. He's basically, his name is so different from his cousin. He doesn't know if it's his cousin or not. That's why they're lost. Not just Bangladeshi, lots of people are just saying. The brother's asking me from Bangladesh, but I'm not really targeting Bangladeshi, but I know that this is the problem, that we don't know. So what you need to do, homework. Every person who is very old in your family, try to kill it. As many names as possible who are related to you or what their relation is to you. So write their name. Who's your father? Don't ask about the mother. It's the father. There is arham from the mother, but that's an outer circle. Okay? So learn from the father. Who's your father? Who's the father? And then you learn. So you make a tree of yourself. Before they die. When they die, you have no documents. You have nothing. I have a family tree. It traces me, oh, mashallah. Big tree. I wanted to know, maybe I'm Chinese in there.
You've got the eyes.
Oh, my God, the eyes. Jazakallah khairan. I thought so, you know.
Same here.
Somebody said, I've got some Jew blood in me. Jew blood or not Jew blood doesn't matter. The religion is Jews, it's not a, the Jews are Yahud. Yahud from Yahuda, all from the wing. الذين هادوا, the origin of the word Yahud. So it's not a word of to criticize somebody. Yahud. And there are Banu Israel, some of them Yahud, some of them not. Banu Israel, children of Islam. So some of them had embraced Islam. Allaah ibn Salam, Banu Israel. Ka'b ibn Mata, Banu Israel. رضي الله عنه. Other questions? تفضل يا حبيبي.
There's a sister's question.
Just a question.
It's off topic.
Off topic, wait. Any person wants to ask about prophets, Yusuf, تفضل.
Hey, Sheikh, just in the explanation, it says they had the intention of repentance before they committed the crime.
Yeah.
Can you just explain that? It's like premeditated
Yeah.
crime.
But basically, they've already realized their mistake from the beginning. And that's why, if you remember with me, when their brother Yusuf took their little brother, the big one, they call it Rabin in that book, the big one, he said, you know what you've done. So they already regretted. You know what you've done. Before Faratun fi Yusuf. Yusuf, what you've done to him. And now you promise your father, yet you failed. I am not going to leave this land until my father permits me, or Allah will give me the rule. Then he said, go to your father and tell him, Inna ibnaka saraq. And they were truthful. Truthful as they sowed. Of course, their brother did not steal, but that's what they sowed. But their father is not going to be what? Not going to believe it. Because he did. How's he going to believe it after what they've done? As I said, remember, if you do a crime, he's always going to catch you. First impression, last impression. So they already had good intention. And when they said to their father, when he said, Inni la ajidu riha Yusuf, when I could smell Yusuf's, they said to him, Inna la naraka, oh, you are in your misguidance. Innaka la fi dhalalika al-qadim, you are in your... It's not really insulting their father. Basically, you are saying to them, Yusuf is gone. You shouldn't be killing yourself. Do you understand that? So it's not really insulting their father. It's telling him harsh words regarding what he's doing. You should not be remembering Yusuf. Yusuf is making you what? Thin and not to eat. And why do you keep thinking about him? He's gone. How many years now? So they're already repentant to Allah. That's what it is. Now, Tona.
So is there an element of here, the wasila, where the brothers, sons of Yaqub al-Salam, asked Yaqub al-Salam, ask Allah to forgive us and forgive us, instead of them asking, like seeking dua for him to ask Allah.
Is that they're asking for tawassul? Yes, you can make tawassul by the dua of somebody who's alive. And that is, Prophet ﷺ, he told the companions, if you find Uwais al-Qarni, ask him for what? For dua. So that's his tawassul. And moreover, they are making a mistake, not just towards Allah, towards the father. So it's not just their father asking him to seek forgiveness from Allah, but also forgive us what we've done to you. What we have done towards your son, and we have made you this misery and all of that. So you are the one who is holding the key for forgiveness in terms of that. Even if Allah forgive us, you're not going to forgive. Our forgiveness from Allah is conditioned or conditional on you. You are the one to let us go. Because on the day of resurrection, if you did dhulm to somebody, He's going to let you go. Allah Azza wa Jal might remove the sin, is, if you call it in Arabic, الحق العام. Allah Azza wa Jal, خلاص, I'm not going to be punishing you for what, but something to do with debts, something to do with mazalim. Okay? So that is why الدواوين ثلاثة, 3 records. One, which Allah will not touch, and that's shirk. Alas, you've had it. And one, He will forgive, and that's His portion. Okay? And one, also, this we're left for the people. One, which is not forgiven, that's a shirk, and one, He will not touch, which is making dhulm upon the people. He can't pour it. He cannot basically tamper with that, because it's in the right of the people. Look, Allah is giving that for the people. You could say that, well, I'm indebted to somebody and I was intending to give, I failed and I died. Then on the day of resurrection, Allah will pay on your behalf. But if you did not have the intention, then you're going to stand with your salah, zakah, and all of that, and this person will come and take from hasanah. If you don't have any hasanah, okay, take from my sins until maybe you dropped in the hellfire. Now, okay.
My question. Regarding the hadith of Mu'adh, can we understand that the husband has priority over the mother and father of the wife?
Regarding hadith of Mu'adh, can the husband have the priority over the father and mother? Of course, not just hadith of Mu'adh. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, زوجك جنتك الأمر. Your husband is either your hellfire, and he also said that if the woman, she did 5, the salah, the siyam, the zakat, and وَأَطَاعَتْ زَوْجَهَا, it will be said to her in the resurrection, from any gate of paradise you enter. So when she marries, her wilayah goes to where? The husband. So if her father, when she's married, he asked her, you need to go to London, she can't go to London without the permission of her husband. She cannot. Her husband, you might say to her, don't pay a visit to your father. He's not allowed to do that. He sinned. Okay? But she could tell her, don't visit him every day. And she has to obey. And visit him once a week. Has to obey. Okay? So he's giving her the option, but she's not going to increase in the paying of the visit. Maybe there are other reasons. So that the husband's wilayah overrules the wilayah of the father straight away. And in terms of who is the best to the person, is always going to be, regardless if you marry or you're not married, the mother. Your mother is closest. And your fathers and your father and your mother are the closest to you in terms of the ones who are going to give you Jannah. Always Allah combines between shirk and being undutiful to your parents, and between tawheed and being dutiful to your parents. SubhanAllah. Always you find this. A man came to Allah ibn Abbas. He said, verily, I loved a woman and I asked for her hand, she refused me. And then somebody else came along and she accepted him. So I got jealous and I killed her. This happens or that does happen? It does happen. I killed her. I want to repent. He said, do you have your mother alive? He said, no, she's not alive. He said, well, do as much as you can from the good deeds and repent to Allah sincerely. Hamad ibn Sirin was listening to, Atta ibn Yusuf. Atta ibn Yusuf was listening to this. He said, Allah ibn Abbas, why are you asking about his mother? He said, verily, I don't know any act which makes you closer to Allah than being righteous to your mother. That's Allah ibn Abbas. Just being righteous to your mother. We have learned when we were kids, Al-Jannatu tahta aqdami al-ummahat. The paradise is underneath the feet of the mothers. Now in this expression, there's no such hadith. It's not sahih. The hadith says, Al-Jannatu tahta aqdamiha. Seek the Jannah underneath her, but not aqdam the like this. So it is underneath your mothers. And no way you're going to repay your father or your mother, except if you find your mother and father a slave, and then you free him. You buy him, and that's what you pay him back, which is almost impossible. Now, also, any questions? Yes, outside.
The
Sister question.
She said, is the barzakh life in the grave, or do the souls gather together in a place after death?
No, the barzakh life is of the following. When you die, the death means the detachment of your soul from your body. That's death. That's when you are asleep, you are what? You're dead. We call it sa'at surah. Small hour. You're dead. So Allah subhanahu describes that when you sleep, your soul departs. If Allah wishes for it to return and you become alive. Or He will keep it and you'll be what? Completely dead. So the detachment of the soul from the body, that's the death. So after that, the barzakh. And barzakh is for both. The barzakh, which is for the body, which will be decomposed except for the coccyx bone, they will experience the punishment, regardless whether it's been decomposed completely or little, it will experience pain and delight according to what the person he was. Same thing, the soul, which will be in its abode, will receive its, whether it's delight or punishment. So the soul, which will be in other paradise, or it will be in hell. It will be in delight or it will be in agonization. Same thing with the body. It's called barzakh. So barzakh for both. And each one is separate from the other. When Allah gives the command for the trumpet to sound, this souls will start to rejoin. The soul which is above are the souls of the believers, and the souls of the evildoers, which will never go above. They will be dropped always. Never be. They will be in this gene. Hellfire. They will be rejoined to the body, and that's when we come out of the graves. This plays a question. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت